Hey guys, Jen Loves Wrestling here. Hope you're having a great day. We were spoiled in wrestling today. We had so many great matches. We're going to start out by just briefly touching on NXT and NXT UK before we get to TLC. On NXT, you can't ask for too much more than this. You had Pete Dunne versus Kyle O'Reilly. And then you also had newcomer Tyler Rust versus Ciampa. And I know this is probably a lot of your first introductions into Tyler Rust. He was formerly known by Russ Taylor or Rust Taylor on the Independents. I got to take a look at some of his work through WXW, and he is fantastic. So if this is your first look at him, you are in for a treat. This guy is really good. He's puts on technical classics, masterpieces, just beautiful, fluid wrestler. Really good stuff. You got to see that in the match with Ciampa, but like I said, if this was the first introduction for you, that's just a small taste of what you're going to get from him because he's fantastic. Okay, so on NXT UK, we're just going to touch on a couple things real quick. I would be remiss as a big UK fan if I didn't mention Jack Starr's underdog, our favorite underdog, Jack Starrs, picks up his first win on NXT UK. Granted, it was in a handicap match. I'm glad he won. I'm glad they won anyways, because in general, I kind of hate handicap matches. But this was a really cool way to give Jack his first win. So congratulations to Jack Starrs on that one. Akade versus Walter, we are going to have at some point. We were teasing that feud. Akade, for all of his wonderfulness, that promo, him on the mic. Honestly, I love Akade, but you felt more like you were at a funeral than a trophy celebration. But you know what? He makes up for it in the ring because Akade is a fantastic wrestler. Maybe needs a little more work on the mic. Not necessarily known for his mic skills, more known for his in-ring skills. He's another guy that I knew of before NXT UK. And he is known for what he can do in the ring. So hopefully we don't hold that promo against him too much. But yeah, and of all the things he did in that promo that weren't great, challenging Walter was a bit of a shock. I know you just won the Heritage Cup, but you might want to pump the brakes a little because this is Walter we're talking about. I think he's still a little above your pay grade, but we'll see. They're going to have a great match. Not sure if it's their first ever. I think, I'm pretty sure, if I can remember correctly, and I'm going to consort my wrestling, especially with the Independents, encyclopedia, Sebastian. If I am remembering correctly, because I have a great mind for this business. I loved my time in this business. I loved a lot of things about this business, being in it and being a fan and being knowledgeable about it. But the one thing, a historian, I am not. I have a absolutely terrible memory. I am pretty sure that Walter and Tim were not in WXW at the same time that Akade was. I'm pretty sure they left before he debuted in that company. Or if Akade and Walter ever met anywhere else in the independent scene, Sebastian could maybe help us out in the comment sections a little bit. Because this might be their first encounter. But Sebastian, let us know. Please. Thank you. TLC. So, the opener on the main card, Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles, ended up being versus The Miz, because The Miz cashed in, which, expected or not, I got a kick out of that, because I was like, Miz, dude, unless Drew is like half dead, which he wasn't dead enough for you to come out and cash in that moment. It was just, well, I mean, he paid the price. We all know, Drew won the match, picked up the victory, but this one, it was all over the place, and I mean that in a good way. It got out of hand. It was crazy. Before everybody jumped in, AJ actually did a really good job of working on Drew's leg, working that calf. Obviously, he's known for the calf crusher, and in addition to that, it's a ladder match. Drew already has the height advantage, unless AJ's standing on almost his shoulders. So, it is a very smart thing that AJ did there, working the leg. But then we had Morrison interfere. We had Almost get involved as well. He ended up chasing off Morrison. We had Miz come in with the cash-in. So it was just, this one was all over the place. But I believe the justice prevailed here. Drew McIntyre still your WWE champion. Next match, Sasha versus Caramella. This one was, honestly, it was pretty much about what I thought it was going to be. We really haven't talked about Caramella so much since she's come back. Despite, like, I don't really have strong feelings one way or the other, to be honest with you, about the new gimmick. It's okay. It's something for her. Again, not on the mic, though. The promo was absolutely abysmal, and I wish the promo that she had leading up to this match, and on SmackDown, and I wish that I was waiting for it to end. It could have ended like 5 times, and then I was waiting for Sasha to cut her off, and it kept going and going. I will say, I hate that promo. I hate Bella's mic skills. The character isn't terrible, the whole thing she's going for. But for all of those things, and I only bring it up because for all of those things, Caramella is actually great in the ring. I'd say this was about an average match for her and Sasha. I wasn't jumping out of my seat. I am a fan of both these two in the ring. Obviously, Sasha is my favorite female wrestler in the world, so I'm a huge fan of hers. Was it Mella's best match? It was maybe towards the top, but I don't know. I think I've seen a little better out of her. Was it Sasha's best match? Probably not, but it was still, for these two, it was still I would rate it like a good to great match. I'll go with it was a great match. I love Sasha. She can do no wrong. There was nothing bad about the match. There was no mistakes or botches or anything like that. It was good. Sasha retained. So she got her comeuppance, which is, that it ended up working out good. So, the New Day versus the Hurt Business. We have new tag team champions here, which, New Day secretly loves that too, because they just love adding to their title reign count. And the Hurt Business, long time coming for Cedric and Shelton, and I don't just mean as a tag team. I mean the two of those particular wrestlers to be wearing straps is great, because they certainly deserve it. Shelton's been... he's been in the business for a million years. Cedric came up through 205, and two fantastic wrestlers, and I'm super happy for them. My only complaint about this match, because it was a really, really great match, but they've been doing this weird ending with Cedric and Shelton for a while now, and I'm not really sure what the end game for that is. I kind of feel like WWE's thing is mismatched teams, and teams don't get along. So, most likely, like 90% of the tag teams under the entire WWE umbrella, obviously, Imperium doesn't, they pass. They are in that top 10%, as well as the New Day. But most tag teams, either they can't get along, or it's like a mismatched tag team. I don't know why WWE loves doing that to us, but they do. So, we had a weird ending with Shelton was ready to pick up the victory, and Cedric tags himself in, and ends up picking the win up on his, for himself. Well, I mean, for the team. But Shelton thought he had things in the bag. Cedric runs in, and I don't know why they're doing it. This isn't the first time they've done this weird ending to that match like that. They keep doing this thing where where Cedric wants, he wants the spotlight, he wants the attention, he wants to be the one that picks up the pinfall. I mean, unless this is adding the tension in the Hurt Business, I really can't figure out what the end game is here. So we're just going to move on, because other than that, happy for those two new champions. Fantastic match. Nia and Shayna versus Asuka. Okay, first of all, bless the announce team. I know it's their job, but literally the only two people in the world that sounded shocked that it was Charlotte Flair. We know it's Charlotte Flair and Asuka, not my favorite tag team ever. So, but yeah, they ended up picking the win in what was an insanely predictable match. So yeah, I guess I wish, I think the story was coming along real good with Lana. Charlotte kind of swoops in and, steals her thunder, so Charlotte's pretty good at doing that. So, but anyways, Asuka and Charlotte Flair, your new women's tag team champions. Hopefully they can, at least maybe something we could get out of this positive is maybe they'll defend these in NXT. They are building the women's tag team scene in NXT pretty well, so Hopefully we'll actually get to see these titles defended on a regular basis against various tag teams across various brands. Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. Roman did every single thing that he could think of, other short of pulling out a deadly weapon, because weapons were involved, but a deadly weapon, to take down Kevin Owens. Kevin, it just built the story perfectly of the never say die attitude with Kevin Owens. He wouldn't quit, but unfortunately he did get choked out at the end, and Roman was able to climb the ladder. Roman was able to retain. Roman Reigns, still your champion, taking nothing away from Kevin Owens. He put on a hell of a performance there. Really good stuff from those two. I guess the thing with the TLC matches, of course, you're not really going to see a whole lot of technical masterpieces or classics. You're going to see crazy, insane spots. But with this one, you also see good psychology as well. So let's tip our hats to them on this one. So good match. And speaking of things that you don't normally see, that takes us to our main event. A Firefly Inferno match. We didn't know what this is going in. I watched it, and I still don't know what it was. It was crazy. I loved it. I will just say that, though. I loved this match. I thought this was, it was brilliantly creative. Again, this is taking advantage of not having fans there. It wasn't quite a cinematic. Hey, there it is. Cinematic. Look at the brains on this one. It wasn't quite a cinematic match like the Fiend had with John Cena. That match, it was just... It would have been hard to top that in a cinematic match with the Fiend. He also had the thing with Braun Strowman, the swamp match. So the Fiend character is just excelling in this department, and he is benefiting extremely well from no fans. They are benefiting extremely well from having the use of the arena and all of these various things at their disposal that they normally would not have. Orton, Seth Rollins' old gimmick would be jealous because he burned it down. He won the match. The object of the match was you had to set some part of your opponent on fire. He did set Bray on fire a little bit, and then he was not satisfied with that, so then he set Bray on fire a whole lot of it, and completely burned Bray just to practically ashes. Not quite. But I guess an interesting story to come out of this one, though, too, is I love the match. I love the creativity. But I guess afterwards, I don't really use a whole lot of social media. But I guess I can't tell you. I know it was either like Twitter or Instagram or something that my friend was telling me he was looking on. And now the Fiend is making these posts with a red O. And my friend kind of deciphered that is redo, red O. So another thing is the Fiend is posting pictures of a cocoon. So a redo, a cocoon, a rebirth, a restart. I'm hoping that this doesn't mean the end of the Fiend character. I do not think it's run its course. And I really don't think I'm even anywhere close to alone in that opinion. That gimmick has not run its course. So, I mean, Bray, we're going to put our faith in you here, dude, because you are super creative. But, I don't know where they go from here. I'm hoping it's not the end of the Fiend. But this is going to be the end of this video because we're going up on 15 minutes here almost. So let me know what you thought about it in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about the show. Anything. We covered a lot of bases here. You can talk about NXT. You can talk about NXT UK. I'm really curious what you guys thought of the main on TLC, though. I haven't been on the internet too much today, to be honest with you. Just haven't had time. But I'd imagine it's going to be one of those cinematic, it's in that area of a different sort of a match where people either they love it or they hate it. There's not going to be a whole lot of people that were on the fence about that match. But I'm curious what you guys all thought of it. So leave it below in the comment section. I love you guys. Have a good night. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. We're coming up on the end of the year. We'll probably have a nice little recap video or something next week. But I don't know. We'll see how the week goes in wrestling, and we'll see how Raw goes tonight. I love you guys. Like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Have a good night. Mwah. Bye.